Welcome to class. So, when you saw printed textile design, what came to mind? What did you think of? What did you think you were coming to learn? Louder. How to create print fabrics. The same
Also
thing.
because of the motives too. What we did last semester.
The motives you'll be using. Yes, and the repeats. Okay. So, as you rightly said, the course is Printed Textile Design Application. It has explained itself already. So, the things you did in semester one, semester two, you'll be meeting some of them in this semester. You'll be applying it to whatever practical work that we have to do this semester. So whatever you did last semester, you don't just leave it, you are going to apply it. So there's some prerequisite knowledge I am going to, or we are going to rely on, and you don't expect me to come and teach you from A to B because we have done it before. Okay, so basically in the semester or by the close of the semester, you'll be able to print fabrics, like you rightly said. We are going to use different printing methods. Okay, so you have already received the list. Those of you who buy, you have received the list for the semester already. Please, this list, if you delay in buying the things, I promise you that you can't do the work before the semester ends. It happened to the previous batch. They were supposed to do classwork, and the scholarship, the thing was ready. But for the other people, and the scholarship students already won, and the other people hadn't been able to buy their things, and they thought they had time. They had set time for the printing. They were delaying, and the time exceeded. And unfortunately, they were supposed to do the same printing in the examination hall. So when it was time for the exams, what would you do with the exams when you haven't done the classwork?
To affect it.
Sorry?
It will affect the.
Affect what? When you don't even know how to print.
You don't know what to. You don't know.
As
So it will affect your exams.
you affect it in what way?
You can do it.
Exactly, which
Like
is
for
negative
hours,
zero.
Like for hours, we did the motive, the repeat. So when you brought it in the exams, we have idea about it. But this whereby you didn't do it at all, you can't do it.
Exactly. So that was what happened to them. Now, I had to, because I can decide not to mind them. I'll tell you, print it. So I came and I said, fine. I'll enter the examination hall. This is what we are going to do. I'll help you print the first one. When I'm done, you pick your second fabric and print. When you print, I give you the choice to choose the one you want me to mark as exams. Do you understand? And that was what we did. Because if I don't do that, it means everybody will get zero because you can't do it. Now, I don't want that to happen to you people. So I'm going to be very stern, and it will get to a point to look like I'm rushing you. I'm telling you so that it doesn't get there and you start and down and no. Please. Last semester, some funny things happened. I didn't want to talk about it. Some of you felt I shouted, I was angry, but at the end of the semester, you realized that I was the one that my brain was soft for you. You are looking at me.
So when are we getting our things?
Oh, I have to ask Madam Esther. For the scholarship student today, you won't have a problem because once the money lands, it will enter the market, it is coming. But
Me, I'm not talking about things for studying.
okay, what is that?
The dresses we sew for you.
Oh,
this one, the green one, I want to wear. The day I wore it, this was the
see,
color is nice.
yes,
I want to
normally
wear it.
because GTech comes in, sometimes they come in and they want to assess what you have done, the exams. So we don't just give it out immediately like that.
Okay.
We keep it for a while with the script. When they last time they came, but when they came, they only did that for jewelry department. They did not come for us. So when they come like that, sometimes they want to see the practical exams that they've done, how they did it, what the student has done, how we marked it. So if we share the dresses, what are we going to show to them? We will show them marks, how maybe neckline, what you have done, but the evidence won't be there. So sometimes we keep it after some period, then we give it back to you. So that those dresses there, you will get them. We can't keep keeping everything like that. Right. But as in when, I can't tell. I have to ask and see what's up there. So let's continue with our studies. Now, with your class, I don't think I had issues with the way you answered questions. What I mean is the sequence in which you answered questions. I'm okay with that. It's another class that has that problem. So there's no problem on that side. I mean the written ones. So the course is the screen on.
Yes.
It equips students the knowledge and skills in the creation of various forms of printed textiles. Various forms of printed textiles. I told you there are so many forms. And we are going to work step by step. Okay. Now, these are the objectives of the course. It means that these are the things we have to deliberate on or we have to concentrate on. Identify, I'm not going to read everything, but these are the very things. So by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to understand everything under the objective because it is based on the objective that the content is built. Nothing is built out of the objectives. I'll be sharing slides. So as for this one, we know already. The assignment and examination thing, we know already, we understand. So the materials that we need for this course, you have been, no, it's, I deleted some things. That's why you have what you have. So don't worry about this. I'll edit it. There are some things in there that we would have developed our own screen here. But because
some of the items that you sent to them, we don't know what is it. For me, I don't have problem. But when you go to town, the words we use for certain items here are not the same as when you go to the Abadashi shop. They use.
it was
So
only
sometimes
one
when-
person who contacted me on that, and I have sorted her issue.
I asked you.
Unless, yes. Yes, that's all I can say for now. For her, for the list she has, everything on it is the same thing when you go to. It is the sewing that normally, the sewing materials, that normally when you go, the names are roadside, you have roadside and all that. But with printing, we usually don't have a lot of market names, usually. Because if you go and say, I want the, but if you want printing paste, I think I wrote fabric printing paste. Is that what you got? The paste are two. One is for fabric. One is acrylic. The one that we use to print t-shirts. Don't buy that one. That one, when we have it, if you use it, it won't dry unless you use something to. There's something we use. It's called Teflon to dry it. So don't buy that one. We are printing cloth, so you are using fabric print. So if they are giving it to you, ask them if that is for cloth. You want cloth, not the oil type.
What is there a particular place in our practice
Yes.
where you go? When I
Yes.
this is what I want to do.
Yes. So hold on. I'm recording this lesson, so when we are done, I'll talk about it. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, something like this is an already made screen. Something like this emulsion, diazo photo emulsion. It is for coating screen, like before your designs appear on the screen. But we are not going to shoot. We call it shooting. Shoot our screens here. If you come to my office, you see that I have some screens there on the previous badge. So we are not going to shoot our designs from paper onto the screen because we are supposed to have certain things like a dark room before we could buy some of these things. But now they are not ready to do a dark room. For a dark room is not any big thing. We can do it in the so it's just a place that is very dark. We don't need any light entry. But so far they have decided not to do a dark room because even the media department they also print, but I was still talking with them and all that, but for now they have decided not to make a dark room. So we design our thing on paper and then we just take it and we transfer it on the screen for us. That is what is called the shooting. That is what the money is for. The money on the this thing, that is what it is for. So because of that, there are certain things that are not in your list. We don't need them. We only need them if we were going to shoot our screens here. Okay. So the first question is, what is textile printing? Tell me, don't read to me. What is textile printing? I said don't read to me, you are not reading.
So that I don't know.
What is textile printing? Now, I didn't say what is printing. I said textile printing. Eh, Tell me something.
Um, Let me say designing your own.
Speak louder because this thing is speaking it.
Designing your own motif. Your own motif and then applying it on the fabric.
You are applying the motive on the fabric.
You
I'm repeating what you say, so you think if it's correct. You said applying the motif, designing your own motif and applying the motif on the fabric. That's what you
on
said.
a plain fabric.
On a plain fabric, I've added it. uh-huh.
I think textile printing is more or less like tie dye.
Mm-hmm.
You add color to the fabric or the motif or either you add your own space.
Okay. So first of all, textile printing. First of all, it involves the transfer of designs from a background. It can be any background at all to a, a textile product. I know why I'm using textile. I'm not using cloth, so don't worry. To a textile product. So you are transferring both motive and by using color as well to transfer those things onto a fabric. If you say plain fabric, is cheddar plain? If you say plain, in what context? Are you talking about the color? Are you getting? So onto a fabric. Truth is, yes, it is usually plain, as in design. If there's nothing on it, it's plain. And it could be in any plain color at all, especially light colors. We do not only print on white cloth, we also print on colored cloth, like the light you like what you are wearing, the lighter colors. But the only thing is that you know how to blend your colors very well. So if you are going to print on a fabric like yellow, yellow is light. You are going to print on, when you print black on yellow, you are safe. You can use the black directly. But if you are going to print red on yellow and you are expecting red, you won't get red, you will get orange because that background is not white. It is yellow. Therefore, red and yellow gives orange. So if you print red on the yellow, you are getting orange, not red. Do you understand? So you now have to think, what do I do to maintain my red in the yellow when I'm printing? Do you understand? Good. That is why when you start printing, this is the first class, first stage. We do not usually introduce plain colors. I mean other colors. We want to use the white or off-white to do our first printings, so that we don't have any challenges with my color has changed and all those things. Do we get it? Right. So textile doesn't only talk about cloth or fabric. Your bag is a textile product. However, I can print on it if I want to. Your footwear is a textile product. Do you know that? Because mine is leather. Yours is all there's some leather on it. Aside the leather, we have the foam and other vinyl and other artificial leather and other fabrics that have been used. It's also a textile product. So there are so many textile products. Your hair bands, they are textile products. So there are so many textile products. I'm sitting on a textile product. What you are sitting on is a textile product. I'm sitting on textile products. So you can see how wide textile is. Even on the road, do you know we use textile products on the roads? I don't think it's in this course. Hey, no, it's not in this course. You have done it already. I think you did it before I came. So we have geotextiles where there's something like a net, and it's like a net, a wide net, but heavier, not just like the mesh we used to sew. When roads are being constructed, when they grade the road and they are ready to put quota on it, they use it to lay the foundation of the road. So they lay it like a carpet, like that. It is to prevent erosion and to prevent the spoiling of the road at an early stage. Don't do that to us. At an early stage. So that is a textile product that is used before the quota is used on the road. And then when we go to agriculture, you see the tents they have been building. It is also from textile. Then there are other nettings they use to cover the plants itself. They have so many rows and functions. It is also part of textile. So textile has expanded into so many areas, not only the cloth. Do we get it? So you can print on them. Our jute bags and fabrics, the ones they even use to bag rice, all of them are textile products, including the jute itself, the brown, the cocoa type. They are all parts, and all the ones they use to bag rice, all of them are textile products. Why? Because with textile, we have natural ones, artificial, synthetic. Synthetic is what we ourselves have manufactured through chemicals. That is why textile is almost everywhere.
Now, where we classify like the old natural, synthetic, and the artificial, where we classify the 3D and the 2D printed version of textiles.
Oh,
That is the computer and doing.
I am not talking about the product. I am talking about the basis, as in the fibers. Because before you get any textile product, it starts from the basic, which is the fibers. And we create fibers, we can create fibers, human beings, that is synthetic. We can have the artificial ones, then we also have the natural ones, which is already there. We just pick it and refine them. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes some of the fibers are mixed. They mix natural with artificial. some synthetic alone, some to they mix the synthetic with a little bit of it. That's why sometimes you hear, oh, this is cotton poly, cotton silk, cotton rayon, those things. That is why you are making those combination or those blends. That's a better term. So that's the point from which I am speaking. Not the 3D printing. Those will come to the printing itself. So we have a lot of videos also to watch. So textile printing, but in our context in the class, we will usually concentrate on the fabric because we don't have a lot of time. If we were to have printed textile again next semester, we would have extended our printing onto other things like bags and stuff like that. But also, if we are able to finish our things quickly, why not? We can transfer some of them to some of these things to add some spice to what we are doing. So it depends on us. So the textile printing, shortly, is a process of applying color to fabric in definite patterns or designs. The patterns and designs you are mentioning is a motive. If I'm coming to say last semester, I didn't teach you textile last semester. So if you have a motive, one motive, and you repeat it, I think I told you, yes, it becomes a pattern. So that is the pattern we are talking about. Okay, your motive, you don't print only one motive. You have repeated it. So that repeated motive is what becomes the pattern. That's why we have patterns there or designs there. It involves the production of predetermined color pattern on a fabric, usually with a definite repeat. Before you even design your motif, you by that stage you would have planned what color you were going to use, your combination of everything before you even get to the printing. You don't design get to where you want to print, then you are thinking, hey, should I use blue, should I use red? No, you are printing and you said your motive is a tree. What colors are you going to use for the tree? We've gotten there, you are like, oh, I want to use red or flower. No, no, no. I think violet flower will do. What is that? Meanwhile, you have a motive and you know what you want to know. You at that stage, you have to know if you want to use the natural colors of a tree or you want to do something abstract. Do we get it? All right. So I in my let me say theory part, I don't read everything out. I only explain to you. So when you have the slides and you go, you read through. I just expatiate like the way I spoken a lot, so I don't want to continue talking.
The second one, it involves the production of a predetermined.
That is what I said.
Correct.
I just explained it. Or you have another question?
I didn't get you.
It involves the production of a predetermined colored pattern. That's why I said you have already determined what colors you want to use. From the designing stage, once you receive your motif, bam, you know that I will use these colors when I get to the printing stage. So you have already determined the colors you are going to use before you get there. That is why you have production of predetermined colored pattern. I told you the pattern is the repeated motifs. That's what becomes the pattern. Okay, with a definite repeat. Yes, if you are printing, you are going to be repeating. If you have one screen and you print, what will you do? You have to put it on the next empty, this thing plain, and then print again. So you will be aside the repeating of the motifs on your paper. When we get to the printing stage, you'll be repeating it. Once you are printing a cloth, you need to be repeating your printing until the whole fabric is filled. Any other? Okay. Now, what are some of the importance and benefits of textile printing? This one, let me run away. So you tell me, what are some of the importance of textile printing?
I think it brings out the creativity in a person.
In a person. If you say in a person, You can say the textile design. Now we are doing textiles, so the textile designer. I told you in fashion we have so many careers. A textile designer is one of them. By the close of this 4 year course you are doing, some of you will find interest in textile. Some of you will find interest in the sewing. Some of you will rather find interest in the accessory parts. And when you complete, you determine the area you want to build more. You can even blend two, but you realize that you are doing one more than the other. Yes. All right. Yes. Sorry?
Also, being a source of income.
Yes, it can be a source of income.
Then let me say you can have a particular design, design that is very how do I customized. That when you see it, you know where it's coming from.
Good. That is a good point. So let's move in and see what we have here. So the first one, it allows for customization and personalization of fabrics, making them more appealing to consumers. So that's why I said some people, even if not you, other students may complete this course and then be interested in textiles. Now, you can make your own fabric because you have a unique design. It will shock you that you make a fabric. You can even choose to sew it and wear it, and people will be asking, "Hey, this fabric is nice. So where did you get the fabric from? Where can I get it to buy?" And things like that. That is the end. You have nothing business to do. You just take the contract and do it for them. If you are fortunate enough, and maybe it is church and the choir is like, oh, this fabric is nice, where can we get some, we want to do this or want, I don't know, oh, I can even customize some for you. So you come and do a piece, like A4 size or A3 size, this thing, how do you call it, samples, and give to them the one they like. Then they choose and then you print for them. The only thing is you may not have machines to do them digitally, but you will need a helping hand to print them manually if you are good with the printing. Do you get it? Yes, so you can print for yourself if you want your things to be unique. You can print your own fabric. Nobody ever will get that fabric. They will have to call you and contact that. I want some of this. It's nice. I want to blend it with this. How do I get it? It's only you that can provide it for them at that point. Because there are so many fabrics, so a lot of people will not be thinking like I can get it. Is it GTP or what is it? It's not GTP, it is GT, gifties, whatever. Do you understand? So that is one. It helps manufacturers produce a varied range of prints and styles to cater for the diverse needs of end customers. Yes, even if all the designs are for you, when I come, my color choice, okay, and my design choice will lead me to pick, and definitely you will get people liking. That's what GTP does. We have a lot of fabrics. When you go to a GTP shop, what do? You look at it, oh, I like this one. So you have for way color, here for way motive, this one. Hey, this one, the motives are big. I like you. That you'll be doing those comparisons at the end of the day. You choose something you think you like. So it is helping the manufacturer. You produce a lot. You can't produce one design. You produce a lot. So a lot of customers come and choose what they like. And at the end of the day, you get to know the ones people are interested in probably because of the color combination. So if you are smart, you can do another color combination, another design. So those who don't like the first design, go and land on the second one because you realize that that color is selling for you. Do you get it? And it enables the ability to create unique designs and patterns. Like you said, it brings out the creativity in you. You bring out different patterns. You can even bring out a design that is never on anybody's cloth. It's only on your cloth. It's possible. Yeah. So this is important in the fashion industry where designers often need to create custom prints for their collection. It's just like you being the fashion designer. If you are a fashion designer, you need to be creating more designs, please. A fashion designer is not the machinist. It's not the one who sews. The fashion designer may know how to sew, but it's not the one who is supposed to actually sit on the machine and sew if it is like an industry. The fashion designer will sit by a table like this thing, create, go out to look for inspiration. However, he or she gets the inspiration, creates new designs, research, and bring out new designs. Are we okay? Now, another benefit of textile printing is the ability to produce high quality and long lasting prints. Yes, if you are doing something for yourself, you want people to keep coming. It's not like they buy the fabric from you, maybe stitch it into a garment, wash it once, and every color is off the fabric. They won't come back again. They will think this is fake. Maybe when you were buying the print, you also didn't check if it was original or whichever, and then it faded. When it fades, it's going to color the white parts of the cloth if the cloth has any white parts. Do you understand? So there are so many things to also consider in that. So this one they are talking about advancement. I am also talking based on manual printing. Okay. As for the machines, digitally they do you do the design and everything on computer. Give the prompt or the order to the machine, and it will be see we'll be watching some videos soon. So textile printing also offers a more sustainable alternative to traditional dyeing methods, like you said. This dyeing thing, it came because we also wanted to do our own thing. We wanted variety of color because Africans we love color, and every country and the color pattern they choose. South Africans love this dark and dim colors a lot. They love using black, brown, those tan colors like this brown, varieties of brown. They and the Cote d'Ivoire people, they like using those kind of colors. It is because of their culture and where they are coming from, the things they have been through. We Ghanaians too, we like bright colors. When India is using yellow, India is using yellow to mourn. We don't use yellow to mourn. India too, they love colors a lot, especially their festival and this. But they blend colors nicely. Yes, but they do blend colors nicely. Yes. We have a color scheme that the whole designing company, or let me say the whole fashion design this team uses. We don't just select colors. So there is a color scheme. I don't know if you were taught in this course, create introduction to creative design. That is where you are supposed to learn that thing. Yes, you are supposed. That's where you are supposed to learn those schemes. I was supposed to teach that course, but because they didn't have anybody for the textile, so I had to take the textile. And per my timetable, we have to drop that one. That is one of my favorite courses. When I teach it, you also will be happy.
Yeah, thought that one in the textile last semester. We didn't have a problem with the textile. The color.
That course, you see, my timetable is full. Otherwise, I would have asked for that course. That course, yeah, I don't want to say much. So let's end it there. So, textile printing, we've done this already. The screen printing on all those things, we also copied it so that it would either add up or change over the dyeing. You know, the dyeing at first, the dyeing too depends on the dyes you buy. If you don't get correct dyes to buy, your fabric will fade early. And the kind of washing we do in Ghana. Yeah. We don't even look at what soap fades and what soap, we just use any soap and we washing our things. Okay. So textile, everything has challenges. Once it has advantages, it also has challenges. Even we human beings, if we are 80% good, our 20% is having some issues we need to attend to. Some you recognize yourself, somebody will recognize it. So one of the biggest challenges is the production of accurate color matching. And I've told you one thing that brings that problem. If you are printing and you are not printing on a white fabric and you are printing on another plain color, your color matching. This one is even talking about color matching, how to select colors. So aside that, printing color on color is another challenge. Maybe you want some yellow in your background and the kind of yellow you've gotten, you don't want to apply it to ink, you want it to be natural with the fabric. If you go and pick a fabric like that, and sometimes the colored ones help because you end up not having a lot of white in your fabric and it looks like a real fabric you have printed. But the only thing is you have to be sure of the color you are going to print on it so it doesn't change. If the color is deep, like I mentioned, black, you have no problem. Brown, not light brown, no, the deep coffee brown, you also not have problems for the color changing anyhow. You will not. So violet, deep violet, you may not have issues with the color changing. So there are just few of them that may not give you. But once you are going to use red, green, blue, those colors that we normally use to mix this thing, especially the primary colors, get ready. You need to know how to apply them. If you have to add a little bit of another color to adulterate it to be stronger so it doesn't change on your fabric. That is why they'll tell you if you have a yellow fabric and you are printing on it, if you are going to print orange, there's no need to worry yourself looking for orange. Just print light red to change to orange. Okay? But sometimes it depends on the intensity of the orange you are looking for. So color matching can be one. Different fabrics and printing techniques can affect the way colors appear on the final product. We've talked about it, making it difficult to achieve consistent color accuracy. The printing process can also affect the texture and feel of the fabric. Sometimes when you finish printing, your fabric will become a bit stiffer than the way the cloth itself was soft. There are certain pastes, okay, that will cause that. Thicker inks and multiple layers of printing can make the fabric feel stiff and heavy. You are printing, we've not gotten there, but let me talk about it. You are printing, you need to be fast and print like once you first coat, you realize that some parts have not coated. Means you did not run your squeegee, there's something called squeegee, over your screen well or fast enough. You have to go back again because you need your pattern to leave its mark on the fabric. So once you do the first one, there's some signs have not gone through. Once you are going and come, you know that you are printing multiple layers and therefore it will become stiff. Okay, so feel stiff and heavy, while lighter inks and fewer layers can result in a softer feel. So keep this in mind when we start printing. You apply this technique. Now, any questions over there? Because we are moving to tools, equipment, and materials needed for fabric printing. This is the easiest part of this course. Yes. Any questions so far?
No.
Should we move on? We have the screw today. I don't know why this projector is behaving in this way today. Okay, so what is the difference between tools, equipment, and materials?
Equipment are more
You think. Are you answering or you are thinking? So tell, you are
everyone.
you are already telling me what you think. So don't add the think. Uh-huh.
Equipment is the heavy,
Anyway, yeah, anyway.
Uh-huh.
and the tools are the tiny, tiny, small, small
No, materials.
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 The fabric,
So let's use one course now in sewing. What are some examples of tools?
pins,
Tracing wheel.
tracing wheel, tape measure, tailoring chalk.
Okay, it's okay.
So,
Equipment,
Ironing board.
board,
Tailor's ham.
iron,
materials,
Dressmaker shears.
materials.
the fabric. The way you are doing.
Yes, because I'm waiting for the second answer. If you mention the second answer,
Zippers.
uh-huh.
Buttons.
Violin.
Buttons.
Okay. Now, you see the tools. The tools can be any handy. Tools are usually smaller. Any handy thing you use to work or that aids in working. For example, cutting shears that you mentioned, the pressing ham and all those boards. Correct. The equipment, most of them are larger. However, most of them also use electricity. They aid in making the work faster. An example is an iron. An iron cannot be a tool. It is not a tool. It is an equipment. Because look at iron. We do not only have the tabletop iron. We have a lot of irons. Even the ones in the industry, we have medium, small, big, large, like a lot. I don't. Is it here? This place, I don't know. I hear there are some these things, machines in boxes. I don't know if it is fine, but we actually have the industrial ironing machine. At the other side, we had one that I normally used to teach the students. When you come as a new batch, I will take you there and teach you how to use at least that heavy duty iron before you learn any special machine. So it's assuming you have stitched your cloth, the coat liner, and then you have cut and then you have to line the whole cloth. You don't need to come and stand by a tabletop iron and be pressing that in one. You only lay it and then you place it inside the machine. It will just roll. Once it gets to the other side, it has taken your violin or your coat lining to the fashion fabric for you already, and it will be straight, smooth, nice. Then you just remove it and go so back. Get it? So such is an equipment. The tabletop iron itself is also an equipment. They make work faster. Okay? The materials, the chalk, the ones you mentioned, chalk, pins, tape measure, they are the material, the things that come together for you to do the works. Okay? Good. So this is the difference between tools, equipment, and the materials. The materials are smaller. Fabric is part of a material. Do we get it? Good. Now we have an opaque printing ink. That are suitable for fabric because they are more viscous and adhere better to your printing block. We have so many types of printing pastes. This is just a brand in a bottle. We may not find the bottle brands with the local ones that we buy here. So we may find other this, and then with the okay, that is has to do with dyes. So let me not talk about
Well,
it.
that one, we will need to fall under a tool, equipment, or a material. The opaque printing.
It will fall under material. It is a material we need to aid in waste. It is not a tool. Because if you pick the what work is the tool going to do? It's a material. Then we have sponge roller. This is the sponge roller here. You have seen it before. This one, painters use it. Even artists use it. There are some that has motifs, designs on it. So once you dip it into your ink and you print on the fabric, the design on it will just show on the fabric. This one is plain. If you want to color your fabric, plain, maybe in lines, you can dip it in a ink and then roll it over lines on your fabric. You will get straight lines, or even if you finish, you can cross it and get check big ones because depending on the length of the rolled foam. So these are some of the things you can use it for. Aside that, people also use it for stenciling. You know stencil, where you draw your motif on paper, cut it out, then you apply color. Instead of using the foam to dab into the ink and then doing this, you can spread the ink at one side and then use your roller to roll it over the motif and to pick it. So there are so many things you can do with the roller. But in that case, you need a plain roller like this, not the ones with the designs in it. Then we'll need a jar of water to dilute the ink if it starts to dry out. Okay. Then fabric shirts and then the like. We would. Do you have shirts in your list?
No.
Don't check it. You are supposed. Okay, this is printing. No, not. Yes, your class. There's supposed to be shirts. I think they took it out. Either she added it to another list, but the shirt is supposed to be part because we did stenciling on the shirt. But you don't know. Let's move on. Then we have a padded table. I didn't enlarge this because we have a padded table. We are supposed to have a table padded like this table. Then they mount foam on it and cover it with vinyl leather. So what does it do? When you are printing, you can't print on this hard surface. If you put your fabric here and you print, it won't have contact. There will be a gap. So when you are printing, the color will not be able to fall directly on the fabric. So you'll be having issues. But if you have a foamy background and you put your fabric, once you exert pressure, it will have the contact. You know how foam is. So last semester, I asked that they make for us two padded tables. They were not able to do it. So what we did was we bought foam and we laid the foam on the table and then we laid Macintosh over it. Do you have Macintosh on your list? Okay. There are some of the things we removed and added it to the departmental one. So we'll get it from them. Because when you use it, we'll keep it in the department for the next virus. So Macintosh rubber, we just lay it on it and then we bring it. We'll have the contact. The only thing is, if they don't still do the padded table, after a period of time, we may have to be buying different sets, but not almost immediately. So that is okay. It can still work. This clear glass is normally used during shooting. We won't shoot, so we won't use it. Then we have a wooden frame. The wooden frame for the screen, but we won't also use it because we are not shooting. If we were shooting, we would need a wooden frame, the glass, and those chemicals you saw on the list. Now there's a video we have to watch. let me check and see which of the videos this is.
And the last one, the reading this one, is that what these people use? Or graphic designers.
What's the padded
The
table?
wooden frame.
What do they use it for? Printing?
Yeah,
The wooden frame is just the
Like-
outer part of the
Yeah.
screen. Have you seen the screen in my office? When you finish, you follow me to the office. It's just four squared, but it depends on the size of the screen. So if you like, your screen can be as big as this table. It depends. If your screen is as big as this table, it means that one person cannot print. You may have about three people. When you move it to the center person will move it, and this person will move it. If you are printing alone, then you have to consider the size. Where if you are alone there, you can't manage a very large size since it is manual printing. Okay, so the wooden frame is just the outer, either rectangular or four square, depending on the size you are using. So like that, carpenters can do it for you if you give them the measurement. So if we were shooting our screens, we would have gotten a wooden frame, go to the carpenter, oh, do a wooden frame for me. I want this size, this 18 centimeters breadth, length, this. Then they'll do the four square or rectangular for depending on the size. Then if we were going to shoot ourselves, the mesh, we will just stretch the mesh over the wooden frame, stretch it, and use a stapler to hold this thing, the mesh onto this thing before we will now start applying the chemicals and bring our design paper to shoot the motifs or the patterns onto the screen. Okay, I have a video of all that. So even though we won't shoot, you will see the process. So there's a video link, but let me check something and see because. Okay, so after the video, we'll go through textile printing processes. Okay, we have so many processes of printing. I mentioned to you that some are digital.
Please, will you pause for us to go to break and come back, or you continue for us to finish?
The truth is that I said it's 12:30. Initially, I said when it's 12:30, we'll pause. Yes. Initially, that was the idea. 12:30, I'll pause, and then we'll rest or whatever I want to do. But we didn't even start at the 10:30. I was 50. We were waiting for you, so we started at 11 something. So what do you suggest? Are you hungry? Talk fast because this video is not very long. We should continue to what time? We are supposed to end at 2, right? Okay, no problem. So, no, if we end at 1, it's not fair. Then unless we end at 1:30. I don't know if you understand. Because the break is 30 minutes. However, don't worry. When we continue, I can end somewhere. The reason is because last week, okay, we can end it. This week, once it, no problem. Once I don't get emergency call. So let's watch the video. This video is not very long, I'm sure. I pray the internet works well. Okay, and this will give us some methods. So, but let's watch it. Oh, my only problem is
What is textile printing? Textile printing is the process of applying color to fabric in definite patterns or designs. In properly printed fabrics, the color is bound with the fiber so as to resist washing and friction. Textile printing is related to dyeing, but in dyeing properly, the whole fabric is uniformly covered with one color, whereas in printing, one or more colors are applied to it in certain parts only, and in sharply defined patterns. In printing, wooden blocks, stencils, engraved plates, rollers, or screens can be used to place colors on the fabric. Let's discuss about some common method of textile printing and see how it works. Block printing. The blocks are usually made of wood and the design is hand-carved so that it stands out in relief against the background surface. The print paste is applied to the design surface on the block and the block then pressed against the fabric. The process is repeated with different designs and colors until the pattern is complete. Block printing is a slow, laborious process and is not suitable for high-volume commercial use. Screen printing. Screen printing is a printing technique where a mesh is used to transfer ink onto a substrate, except in areas made impermeable to the ink by a blocking stencil. A blade or squeegee is moved across the screen to fill the open mesh apertures with ink, and a reverse stroke then causes the screen to touch the substrate momentarily along a line of contact. This causes the ink to wet the substrate and be pulled out of the mesh apertures as the screen springs back after the blade has passed. One color is printed at a time, so several screens can be used to produce a multicolored image or design. Roller printing. Roller printing has traditionally been preferred for a long production runs because of the very high speeds possible. It is also a versatile technique since up to a dozen different colors can be printed simultaneously. There is a separate printing roller for each color being printed. Each of the rollers rotates over the fabric under pressure against an iron pressure roller. A blanket and baking cloth rotate over the pressure roller under the fabric and provide a flexible support for the fabric being printed. Heat transfer printing. Transfer printing techniques involve the transfer of a design from one medium to another. The most common form used is heat transfer printing, in which the design is printed initially on a special paper using conventional printing machinery. The paper is then placed in close contact with the fabric and heated. When the dyes sublime and transferred to the fabric through the vapor phase. Digital textile printing. Digital textile printing is often referred to as direct-to-garment printing, DTG printing, or digital garment printing. It is a process of printing on textiles and garments using specialized or modified inkjet technology. Inkjet printing on fabric is also possible with an inkjet printer by using fabric sheets with a removable paper backing. Burnout printing, a method of printing to obtain a raised design on a sheer ground. The design is applied with a special chemical on a fabric woven of pairs of threads of different fibers. One of the fibers is then destroyed locally by chemical action. Burnout printing is often used on velvet. Discharge printing. Discharge printing is performed on piece-dyed fabrics. The patterns are created through removal rather than addition of color. Hence, most discharge printing is done on dirt backgrounds.
Okay, I thought you wanted to ask a question. Okay. So, this has given us has varieties of print. We'll be doing that later in our slides, so I won't talk about them too much. When we get there, I'll take my time and explain, but you have had an idea of the different types of printing. You can also watch the video over again after I share the slides with you, because we'll be talking about them. So we have seen some of them, and some things we'll be repeating in this particular topic over here. So we have the textile printing processes. The textile printing processes. So we didn't say types of printing. We said process. So we have three major types of process. I'll explain it. Now, there are so many ways of printing. Let's take the first one. So the three main categories of how printing on textile is done. The first one is direct printing. Direct printing. If we say direct printing, we all understand what direct means. When you pick something, you just, if I say put this on the table, you are going to put it directly at the position I asked you. There's no complication. So this is where color, please note, color, we have American spelling and UK spelling. So if you see this, it's not wrong. But if you are going to write it color, the way we write. Yes. Probably not for me, I mean generally. Somebody will mark it. It's wrong. So where color ink pastes are imprinted onto a fabric. This is the most straightforward method of textile printing. An example of this direct include block printing and roller printing. You have watched the video. The block printing is the first one. You can make your motifs on a block. Which kind of blocks? Give me an example. What are some of the mediums we can use as blocks? You can transfer your motif onto the block. Have I seen?
I want to give an example.
Yes. Okay.
The old carpet church is the old one. This is the block they used in building those carpet churches.
The block.
Yeah, block.
Okay, you talk.
There's some particular block which makes it very well. The building is very strong. The old carpet churches. Even when we are in the Christian, whatever it was, the build, the structure, the blocks,
I've seen it, those brown ones.
those ones.
Yes, they are clay.
Yeah.
They are, I've forgotten the term. Terracotta.
Like they are not painted.
It's terracotta. It's called terracotta.
Terracotta.
But yes, but that is fired clay, like highly fired clay. It's very hard, like glass. When even it falls. But that's not what I'm talking about. In textile, block doesn't talk about that kind of block. We are talking about if you can make a block out of foam. You see the foam, the cube ones, the 4 square ones that have been selling by the roadside, 5 cedis, 2 cedis. You can create your motifs on paper or tracing paper, and then you transfer them onto the block. Then you cut, if it is a foam, then you cut out the negative portion, so the motif will stand on the foam like 3D. It will stand out. So the portions you don't need, that is where you cut off, so they will sit in it. So the portion that has come out or projected itself out, you dip them into your printing paste and then you print it. The same thing when you are doing batik, you would have dipped that foam. It is called block at that stage. You dip them into the wax and then print on the fabric before you dye it. Okay, so that's the kind of block we are talking about. However, you can make block also out of gourd. I'm not talking about God in heaven or God on earth. I am talking about that plant. Mm. Come, let me use this thing to show you. It will be simple and easy for you that way. The this thing God that you see rattle when you are in church, especially EP church, for example, they're using cha 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 wobble and all those things. The rattle, it's made out of a god. This one,
Yeah, this one.
have you seen it? Yes. You use it, we carve the motifs on it. And then so we say we carve out the negative areas. And then the positive areas will be standing out. Then you can dip those ones also and use it to print. Some people also say wood also works, but it depends on the kind of wood. Wood also works perfectly, but you have to also know how to dip that wood into this thing before you print. So you can use all those mediums for how do you call it, for your block. Okay, so that is for the first. So examples of direct printing is block printing and roller printing. We even saw it in the video. Maybe I will go back for you.
All fabric is uniformly covered with one color, whereas in printing one or more colors are applied to it in certain parts only and in sharply defined patterns.
This one.
The blocks are
So
usually
there was
made of
have you seen the blocks? These are the blocks.
They look so hard.
Oh, be
wood and the design is
it depends on the material.
into the background
Yeah,
process.
it depends on the material they use. Any material that can have this thing, you can use it. But these are the common ones I am giving to you. And we have seen roller printing. That one is a machine that does it. It applies the direct from this thing to the fabric. The designs is already on the machine. So once the fabric comes, it just applies and it is gone. Okay. So that is direct printing. It's direct. Once you put your motif on the next thing that comes is the color and you finish your work. Discharge printing. The second category or textile printing process is discharge printing. How does this thing work? It's a process that uses water-based ink to deactivate or destroy the color dye in the fabric. The method is also sometimes called extract painting for this matter. Let me highlight it for you. It's called extract painting. In discharge printing methods, the ink is clear and contains a substance called an activator. When it's printed onto the fabric, the ink areas turn a lighter color and look like they have been bleached. This is where I will stop. Let me give you the examples, then I'll say what I want to say. So one method used to apply discharge ink is screen printing. Where a stencil is applied to a mesh screen. Ink is then pushed through the screen so that the stencil image is printed onto the fabric. The process is repeated with separate screens for each desired color. Here, if it were dyeing, there's something called discharge dye. That one we use bleach, parazoo. Any bleach that is strong, you can use it. But for us, parazone is what we know mostly. So we use parazone for discharge printing. I'm taking it from that point so you understand the point I'm about to make here. So with that one, let's say you have something like your black t-shirt. You can fold it in whatever pattern you want to fold it in. Then apply your bleach, you soak it into water, then apply your bleach over the dress. Why are you soaking the thing in water? You want it to be absorbed so you can absorb the bleach itself. So once it is wet, you have to squeeze it out. Then you fold your cloth in whatever pattern you want. I'm talking about dyeing parts, not printing this time. So then you add your bleach to the areas that you want bleached. You leave it to open air, it will oxidize. Open air, that is where it can bleach properly for you. So you put it here, it will bleach and bleach properly for you until you are satisfied to this thing you want. If you leave it, you know when it starts bleaching it, it takes the black off, it will give you a lighter brown. If you leave it on, it will become lighter, 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 so to when you are satisfied. And then you can take it and spread and then wash it then to stop the bleaching this thing for you. And whilst it is bleaching too, you know that it will be spreading. It will be spreading small, small. So per the designers or the textile designers preference or desire. That is how that discharge works with batik. Now, when we come to screen printing too, there's something like that. But this time around, we don't use the parasol. There is a printing ink that contains the bleaching agent. So if you have your screen and you do the normal direct printing procedure, you are going to print on the screen with that ink that contains the bleach. So this time around, you still have in this case, your fabric is supposed to be colored, otherwise there will be no bleaching taking place. So if your fabric is in color, black, any color at all that you want to use, and you want to bleach it, you only use that bleaching ink and then you print the normal way. When you finish printing, you leave it for it to be able to bleach the areas the ink penetrated on the fabric. Do you get it? And then for that one, you don't wash it. You wait, it will dry on its own. It will just take the space, the open spaces on the screen, the areas that the ink penetrated. Then it will do the bleaching for you. This time around, you don't need to go and say, let me buy red color, let me buy blue color. No. You are only doing the bleaching throughout till the end. This time, the reason why it is discharge printing, what is the difference between the discharge printing and the direct printing? What's the difference here? Why is direct and the discharge like? Why?
The discharge is more like moving
The original color.
yes.
Uh-huh. You don't get it, but you get my explanation. The difference is that the reason why direct is direct, and they have given us example that roller printing and block printing are examples of direct printing, is that once you print, you have finished the job. Nothing will happen again. Whatever you print is what you have. But the discharge printing, once you print, you have to wait because another process is coming to happen. Do you get it? Before you get the final work you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, but the first one, when you print, that's it. There's not what are you expecting again? You finish. That's it. It's direct one time. Nothing happens after that. The only thing that will happen is ironing, and the ironing happens to all printed fabrics. Do we get it? Okay. So the process is repeated with separate screens for each desired color. So these discharge inks, they also have colors and they have the impact they give. So you buy according to what you are working with. But we won't be using discharge prints. We'll be using the normal print. So we'll buy colors we want to use. Okay. Then we have the resist printing. The resist printing. Again, I will take this from the batik side. Okay, let's read, then I'll take from the batik side and come. So this involves a substance like melted wax or specific chemicals called a resists that are applied to fabric to prevent color from sticking. Have you seen wax before?
Candle.
It's just like candle. In fact, it's a bigger version of candle, but it is like this. They are like laps, just like the way this comes in like a box, big like that. They come in those things. So you put them in a big pan and melt it. That is wax for batik. Let's continue. So resist printing can be done with many tools, including rollers and blocks, blah blah blah, blah. And the design is applied using the resist substance and allowed to dry. Then colored dye that won't stick to the resist is applied in areas of pattern covered by resist. The underlying color shows through in intricate patterns. This process of applying resist, then dye is repeated until the desired layers are reached. One type of printing that uses this process is batik. Now, somebody will ask, is batik a printing process?
Some.
Some are printing processes. Eh? Why? Because of the blocks. Because even if you dye it, the wax you applied, you did not print it. You didn't dye it. You printed them. Do you understand? You printed the motifs. Unless you just fold a portion of the cloth and dip them into the wax. But in most cases, they come in patterns. So we print the wax areas. That is why these people are mentioning here that it is one of the printing processes. So it has been, we know batik and all those things. So the resist printing makes use of the wax, like I mentioned. But you see, in printing alone, we do not introduce the wax, because if you introduce wax and then you go and bring fabric paste and print, you cannot remove the wax. The wax, we remove it with hot water, and we don't put the printing paste in hot water after you have printed. We only put it on the hot iron. The hot iron helps to fix the print onto the fabric after it is totally dried. Do you get it? So we do not use the wax in the printing like the way we have discussed. It normally goes into the batik, and they are considering batik as printing because yes, you can do batik, but it will be a printing method for you. Once you print, what about you dip your block in a thick mixture of dye and you print. Then you print the resist areas also. Maybe it's going to be an overlap, depending on the designers. So either you are folding and dyeing whilst you have finished printing the wax, or you want to do printing throughout and it will still come out automatic. Depends on you. But as for fabric paste, you can't use it if you are using wax because you can't wash from that stage. Do we get the resist? Resist is an English word, so once you see resist, it is clear. Okay. Any questions from there? So that is the process. Three major textile processes. Three major textile printing processes. Let me check something. We will end the class soon. This thing is going for class. Let me check where this ends. Pause. Okay, we can't finish this. Though we have now I've brought all the types of printing, what we have. Yes, that we will elaborate on soon. We will leave it here. When we come next week, we will deal with the whole this thing. So this is our second week, right? And we are still on track, and there are a lot of videos to watch. So next week, or this week, when are we meeting?
We are meeting on Thursday. And the videos, can you send it to us? We watch it for
I am.
Thursday.
Give me your email account. Give me your email account. Because I don't have this thing here. I don't have WhatsApp here, so I can't send it on the phone. So I can't send it on WhatsApp. But if you give me your email, I can easily open here and send it. Hey, what is that you are giving? Not you. It's Michael. I'm even shocked. Like I've typed email and it's behaving as if I've not opened email on them. Hey, look at this. My this thing, account is even there.
No,
Hey. So next week we'll go through all the types of printing. Please, so note, I don't want to go and ask you process and you come and tell me, you give me types. Types are different. The types of printing, they are different. This one is talking about if you want to print, then you ask yourself, which method am I using? That is that one. So, where is it? Compose. But you want to add yours, I don't have a problem. I can send it to you.
no matter if you do it.
Okay. So I won't be sharing the okay, I can share the slides too, but I'll check if it's already on the phone. If it's still on the phone, I'll just forward it. If it's not, I will have to because I deleted some things. Yes, this brings me to where I share my this last semester. Which I come to waste our time. Last semester, I couldn't do this thing. Oh, don't do this. What are the colors of the year?
Of the year.
Yes, when it is every year, I'm coming. Every year, in fashion, they give
Color.
color. This year, what are the colors? Give me this thing. Look at the way this thing came. Huh?
Lovely gift 2000 I think why it's part
What?
this the color is
Have I sent you a mail before? No, okay. It's popping up this.
this white is part.
Okay, about the way it was showing, I thought yes. So all right. So on this note, we end our class here, and um, Thursday we'll continue from the different types of textile printing methods. Any questions?
We'll go through the slides. And write the questions down when you miss.
Okay. All right. Then, in the absence of any questions, see you on Thursday. Tell your friends they should come. In fact, they will hear it in the video. They should come because there's going to
That
happen this
has to come.
semester.
Then I'll be saying that is.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.